vacations and travels or material possessions, we know something about the family. If a corporation makes limited budget to accommodate family need and pay for good health care for its workers, we know something about that company. Likewise, if the school district budgets funds for one program, not another, we know something about that school district. So what does this budget say about the South Orange Maplewood School District? What does it tell the world about who we are? What we value and where our priorities lie? Will it tell the world that we value closing the achievement gap? Will it tell the world that we prioritize having all children in this district read at grade level at the end of second grade, no matter their circumstance or what school they attend? Will it tell the world that we value equity and equality in our schools? Every elementary age child matters and deserves the same opportunity to graduate 5th grade proficient in all subjects. Will it tell the teachers, families, and children at Seth Boyden and the other schools in this district that you have heard them, that you care about their future, and that you want them to be all they have the potential to be? We at Seth Boyden have been coming before you since November to ask that you stand up for our children and make room for them in this budget. We've begged and pleaded for more resources. The teachers have asked for more resources. The administration has asked for more resources. Our community came out on March 21st at your invitation and asked for more resources. Over 300 members of this community have signed a petition urging you to provide vital and necessary resources at Seth Boyden. When Ms. Swanson speaks shortly, she will hand you a copy of that petition along with names of all the people who have signed it. So tonight I ask you, can you say to all of the people that the budget you pass here this evening provides the resources and commitment to ensure that every child at Seth Boyden, at Clinton, at the other elementary schools has what he or she needs to read at grade level by the end of second grade? And if it doesn't, why not? Can you truly say that everything in this budget, every class, every consultant, every program is more important, more valuable than committing to this? A research educator named Jonathan Kozel once wrote, "In seeking to find a metaphor for the unequal contest that takes place in public school, advocates for equal education sometimes use the image of a tainted sports event. We've seen, for instance, the familiar image of a playing field that isn't level. Unlike a tainted sports event, however, a childhood cannot be played again. We are children only once, and after those few years are gone, there is no second chance to make amends. In this respect, the consequences of unequal education have a terrible finality." The consequences of this budget for the children at Seth Boyden, and indeed throughout all elementary schools in this district, cannot be overstated. We need resources now. Not next year, not when the new superintendent starts, not when there are board elections in the fall. We need them now. So I ask you, what does this budget tell the world about who we are? And is it something you and we can be proud of? Are we a community where every child matters? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rachel Fisher.
I hope this isn't too redundant. My children are even the same ages as Amelia. My name's Rachel Fisher. I have 2 children in our district, a 6th grader at Maplewood Middle who went all the way through at Seth Boyden, and a 3rd grader at Seth Boyden. Thank you very much for listening to us over the past months, and especially for convening the community forum with the Seth Boyden community, where many of you came to hear us out. What you heard that day was the steadfast love for and pride in our school from our entire community. Parents, teachers, administrators, and children. You also heard expressions of need. What I have learned from this process over the past year is that the growing inequality in our society has not stopped at the borders of Maplewood, South Orange. School systems cannot solve every problem, but I think we can all agree that when our kids set foot in the door of school, they should have an equal chance to learn and succeed. As you know, Seth Boyden has the greatest poverty rate in the district. I want to be very clear, not just for you, but for the entire community of our two towns. All of our children at Seth Boyden want to learn and love school. All of our parents and guardians love our kids and have high expectations for them. And all of our kids are smart and capable. You cannot help but know this is true if you come to Seth Boyden and enter a classroom. When a parent is working 2 jobs at minimum wage, taking the bus, and trying to make ends meet, the child may come to school with a different level of preparedness than when there are plenty of resources at home. So in order for all of our children to have an equal shot, we need to take action. We must meet the needs where they are. If we do not meet these needs, we would simply be perpetuating the inequality of the larger society. We would be giving up. We would be giving up on our kids, which is reason enough to meet these needs. But in addition, we would be giving up on ourselves, on our purpose as a community, on our own stated goals of reducing the achievement gap through equity and excellence. It's time for us to put our money where our mouths are. We have made some modest requests that merely begin the process of meeting the needs of our kids, including budgeting for class sizes close to the minimum specified by Board Policy 2312, increasing academic intervention time over and above the current 3 full-time teachers, so that all children are at or above grade level by the end of 2nd grade, and restoring our social worker to 5 full days a week. I hope that you will make these allocations so our school can continue to do its great work. Thank you.
Next is Susan Brody.
Hi, I teach 4th grade language arts at Seth Boyden School. I've taught at Seth Boyden for 9 years, and I love my job, and I love my school. It's got such a vibrant and diverse academic learning community. I'm exceedingly proud of the work we do at Seth Boyden, and I'm convinced, I'm sorry to all the other teachers out here, that we are truly the best staff in the district. And I say that not to brag, but the fact is we have to be. We have to be or become the best. Because Seth Boyden truly isn't like the other schools. And that's neither good nor a bad thing. It just is. The fact is, I have had to learn to teach to the very high and the very, very low. I may teach 4th grade, but I actually also really have to teach 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th. This year, as you know, the 4th grades at Seth Boyden were extra large. Not only were they extra large, but they were also made up of an extra large number of financially disadvantaged students, as well as academically challenged students. When I started the year with 53 students in my 2 sections of language arts, 55% of my students were reading below grade level. Some were a full 2 years behind. So again, they're reading at a 2nd grade level. It's hard to meet the needs of so many struggling students in a classroom without feeling like I'm neglecting those that are on or above grade level. Do I do it? I'd like to think so. But I also feel like I could do my job better with more supports in place. Obviously, smaller class size is the biggest issue. The large classes this year have made everything I do more challenging. From trying to read to my class on the rug, I can't, to having them work in groups, they do, but it's a little noisy, and it's really hard to fit them all in one room. We've limited the number of field trips we take to 2, in no small part because we're not comfortable asking students to pay for more than that. But trips are what so many of our students need. Every year on our trip to Sandy Hook, there's always a few students who admit to having never been to the beach, never felt sand. The district's charge for buses can increase the price per child just enough to tip the scale too far that we decide we can't really afford to take the trip, or the students, we can't ask them to take the trip. We need more financial help in order to allow for more trips, more wonderful assemblies and programs. We need more academic intervention teachers, ideally in math as well as reading. We need a full-time social worker. And while I'm asking, a full-time masseuse for the staff. That was just to make sure you were listening. Let me close by saying that we will continue to go above and beyond what we ever thought was possible to do. Sorry, I just lost my place here. But to do so with to meet the needs, let me start again. Let me close by saying that we will continue to go above and beyond what we ever thought possible to meet the needs of all of our students. But to do so with the full knowledge that our board is behind us would be invaluable. Thank you for listening.
Next, Tia Swanson.
Good evening. I am Tia Swanson. I have 4 children, all of whom attended Seth Boyden, one now at Columbia, 2 at Columbia, 1 at Anselm, and 1 left at Seth Boyden. I'm just delivering the petition, which we've heard about, and which I will read for you. We, the undersigned, support the requests of the Seth Boyden staff, administration, and the Seth Boyden PTA, and urge South Orange Maplewood School District Superintendent James Memley and the Board of Education in finalizing the school budget for 2015-16 to 1, budget for Seth Boyden class sizes close to the minimum specified by Board Policy 2312, so that all of our children get the help and attention they deserve in class. Number 2, to allocate enough academic interventionist time over and above the current 3 budgeted full-time teachers to ensure that all children are reading at or above grade level by the end of 2nd grade. 3, to restore our social worker to a full 5 days a week. And 4, to do whatever else is necessary to help ensure that all Seth Boyden graduates are at or above grade level in all subjects and fully prepared for the challenges of middle school. And to be clear, we don't want this to happen at the expense of other district elementary schools. That petition has been signed by 326, and I will leave it with you. Thank you. I'm sorry, and I would just ask everyone who is here for Seth Boyden to please stand so you can see the support our school has.
Thank you, Ms. Swanson. Next, Michael Paris. Okay. If Mr. Paris is not here, we'll just move on to our next budget speaker. Mr. Lax, Steve Lax.
I think most people see Glass Maplewood, speaking on behalf of myself as a committee of 1 of the Citizen Budget Advisory Committee of Maplewood School Subcommittee. It would be nice for the benefit of Seth Boyden parents here if the administration, before the board starts discussion, could repeat a little more slowly and a little more clearly, specifically what you might be committing to do in support of Seth Boyden. I want to speak in support of the Seth Boyden parents who've spoken, but actually more broadly about the situation in the elementary schools. My remarks follow on from the CBAC report that I believe all of you read from our committee last year, which tried to highlight the increasing stresses in the elementary schools as the number of students per section, per class section increase, as the number of students in the buildings increase. The elementary model was, the buildings were not built for 500 and 600 students. The hallways are too narrow, the cafeterias are too small. A principal and assistant principal struggle just to remember the names of all the students, let alone understand all of their issues and the situations that their parents are in. And what this means is that all of our students are getting, in general, a worse start in life and in school. This burden falls particularly heavily on